Hello, great people. Welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. 2023 presidential election is drawing closer, and all the parties are doing all in their best to ensure that they get adequate votes. And Labour Party is not left out. The vice presidential candidate of Labour Party, talking about Dati Ahmed, has raised alarm, and the first person that this alarm goes to is actually the vice presidential aspirant of APC. The way he talks and a lot of other things. You're going to hear full details of the press conference of Dati over the issue of peace accord, violation of peace accord, and the likes. But before we give you full details of that, if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do well. Hit on the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish our videos. Now, according to the news, the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Dr. Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, has declared that orchestrated attempts by opponents to denigrate the candidacy of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, using false claims and attacks on his supporters will fail. He said this at a press conference in Abuja on Wednesday. Dati Ahmed expressed disappointment that despite signing a peace accord, presidential candidates of the All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his People Democratic Party counterpart, Atiku Abubakar, have used campaign events to spew invective and spread falsehood about Peter Obi. The Labour Party presidential running mate also expressed sadness over the increasing spat of attacks on party supporters, which in some cases has led to the death of party members, the recent being the killing of the Labour Party woman leader, Victoria Jintex, in Kora, Kaduna State. He pointed out that despite attempts to belittle Obi, the former Lambast State Governor Peter Obi is a successful businessman, a two-time governor, vice presidential candidate in 2019, who subsequently moved to Labour Party. Dati Ahmed said in the squabble for second and third position, some elsewhere major political parties appear to have crossed the boundary of decency to transgress our peaceful activities and our focus on political schedule. On the 29th of September 2022, an eminent group of statesmen under the aegis of the National Peace Committee brought together all the presidential candidates to sign a peace accord which represents an agreed code of conduct for the 2023 election. It is unfortunate that despite the noble objective of the initiative, disinformation and misinformation about the Labour Party and its presidential and its candidate have become fashionable in this election season. Recently, for example, there was a false narrative being spread nationwide that Mr. Peter Obi is against the production of oil in the north. Nothing could be fairer from the truth. Peter Obi has repeatedly stated at various local and international fora that the greatest physical asset of Nigeria is the vast rich land in the north, and declared his commitment as a visionary transformative leader to exploit some for the overwhelming benefit of the Nigerian people. To the architects of consumption to production, oil in the north means more revenue for development, more jobs, and opportunity. Earlier attempt to discredit the Obi's candidacy through fabricated allegation of demolition of mosques, internal deportation of northerners, issuance of ID card to northerners, and ethnic hostility were all conclusively proven to be false and without basis. As if those were not enough, just a few days ago, the presidential candidate of the APC, speaking in Delta State and referring to our presidential candidate, said that it was a disgrace to mention his name. While our candidate is quite comfortable with not being mentioned, it is most unpresidential, indecorous, and disrespectful from the candidate who claimed his turn at Nigerian presidency. The Labour Party vice presidential candidate went further to say, and I quote, he said, APC's strategy against Peter Obi now appears very clearly centered on promoting falsehood, in addition to empty and derogatory personal attacks, and of course this is because they can find no contentious point of negativity to push. Little wonder that their vice presidential candidate has consistently put to shame the noble heritage of the great Bronu Empire in his unguided and uncultured public pronouncement, which exposed his intellectual laziness and discomfort with empirical fact and argument. Regular insults, which have now become his trademark, have not spared the current vice president, whom he directed to go and sell ice cream, nor the former vice president, whom he described as a pure water seller, a noble venture which serves the populace better than a certain white substance. It is pertinent to recall how Mr. Shettima, at a recent public event, belittled Atiku Abubakar's educational qualification as well as the modest lifestyle of Peter Obi. Clearly, Mr. Shettima is out of touch with reality and cannot understand that people like Peter Obi, who have reached the height in business and material achievement, have long transcended the need for ostentatious display of wealth. Addressing Shettima specifically, he said, "We congratulate Mr. Shettima on having improved his dressing, but equally remind him that he needs to improve on his public composure and discipline in communication. Shettima is called upon to speak kindly and more responsibly about all personalities, if only to uphold long established standards. We cannot also forget his disposition and uncooperative attitude when hundreds of schoolgirls were abducted under his watch as governor in 2014, where he did little to secure them in the first place or facilitate their rapid rescue, a governor under whose education was sustained as forbidden. The circumstances of his emergence as a candidate in 2011 leaves yet many questions unanswered. Others are not left out. It is important to underline that oath of office do not expire with tenure, and hence the comment that the northern electorate do not need a Yoruba or Igbo leader is greatly at variance with the oath of office taken in 1999 and 2003 respectively, and the peace accord of 2022. This is to call upon the honor of the statement to respectfully retract some in order to be readmitted to the honor list of esteemed presidential candidate. Truth of the matter is that every Nigerian from anywhere needs a credible and competent president. Simple. Darty Ahmed explained that beyond the comment of candidates, the party was constrained to further highlight some other development of concern to members of the Labour Party. He said, "We are concerned about the fate of area designated by security agencies as ungoverned space which contain legally delineated polling units. It is necessary for INEC to clearly address the nation on how it intends to handle the challenges of conducting elections in these areas." Over the past few months, we have witnessed various attacks on Labour Party offices, meetings, and our members in parts of the country, and even INEC offices have not been spared. Just a couple of days ago, Mrs. Victoria Chintex, a very vibrant and able woman leader in Kaura local government of Kaduna State, was assassinated while members of her family escaped with injuries. Senseless killings have gone on for too long. We call on government within time left to at least make attempt at fulfilling its 2015 promise of securing lives and properties while serving justice to the killers. We are alarmed by the reported arrest, battery, and detention of Aminu Mohammed, a final year student of the Federal University Dawse, over an alleged social media post about the person of the First Lady. We will never, as a party, condone indecorous speech and disrespect to elders. We wish to remind the Buhari State House that the road to power on the personal denigration of their opponent and empty promises without slightest clue of good governance. Individuals must be free to express themselves freely, and any infraction of law be pursued as civil matters and not through high-handed abuse of power. This is not 1984. We lend our voice to the genuine call for his immediate release. We have so far endured the aforementioned and have taken remedial action where necessary, and where not, we simply ignore. Civility and respect of law must not be read by misguided elements as signs of weakness on our part. It is not too late to adopt our style of strictly campaigning on relevant practical national issue while respecting individual and institution. Any action to the contrary, the people responsible must know they will be held accountable in the decent manner we have presented our issue here today and in the way of the law. 2023 election will be different as Nigerian electorate are increasingly becoming aware of the danger of ethnic and religious politics, a fact that causing anxiety, frustration, and desperation with political actors of the old order. Consequently, these attacks against us are only likely to increase. We must call on authorities to live up to constitutional responsibility and on the general public to regard lies, misinformation, and propaganda for exactly what they are. On his part, he said the obedient movement under Labour Party will continue to remain faithful to founding principles and the signed peace accord, just as it equally invites all stakeholders to emulate them. According to him, the next few weeks will see an escalation of election activities. He urged all who have not yet collected their PVCs to do so without delay and to follow through to identify their polling units, vote, and defend their votes. The LP presidential running mate expressed gratitude to everyone who has kept faith with the party and the Obidati ticket and enjoined them not to give up until victory is attained. Wow, that was a long read, but it was quite an interesting one. Just go to our comment section. What's your standpoint on that wonderful press conference by the presidential candidate running mate of Labour Party?